Hi, I'm Zeke, KJ7NLL, and today we're going to make this in the layout of Microwave Office. So, now we have to make the ZCL, the Zeke Component Library. So we go to Layout, right-click on Cell Libraries, New GDSII Library, and we'll call this the ZCL, enter. Now we're going to right-click on this and rename it to Coil Form Inductor. Okay. Now we're going to double-click on the Coil Form Inductor and make it full screen. This is the Coil Form Inductor, and we will be making the layout for it in Microwave Office for the pins right here. Right here, and here, and here, and here. The coil, this is a transformer, but it's what we could find that had wire on it, and we wanted to show you the wire. These are the wires coming down to the connection pins. One of them is ground and one is signal. At least that's how it would be on a normal inductor. And then these are the coils. Now we're going to do draw circle, space, 0, tab 0, enter. Now we're going to make 0. Space, now we're going to make the radius 27.46, enter. Now we're going to do home, or zoom out, and do Control-C, Control-V, space, and dx will be -50, and dy will be 100. And we're not going to do relatives, but it doesn't matter since it's at 0, 0. Okay? Now we're going to do Control-E, Control-V. This can be relative if we want, but we're not going to. So space, and then x is going to be 0, and y is going to be 200. Okay? Now we're going to do Control-A, Control-Shift-C to move with reference, and Control-click here. So we're going to do Control, right-click, and do space, x 200, and y 0, enter. Okay, so now we're going to make drill holes. So we're going to go to Draw, Drill Hole, and we're going to place it in the center by using Control, and there. You have to change the size in the LPF. If you go to Layout, right-click on the LPF and do Text Edit Definition Process, then you can do Control-F Drill. Wait till you see the end, and change the number to whatever size drill hole you want. So that's specified in the LPF. So, and we're going to Control-C, Control-V this, and put it there for all of them. Using Control-click on each one to get it perfectly in the center. Okay, now we're going to do the cell ports, and we're going to go in here, and it'll make this one number 1. So we're going to use Control-click again and click at the top, and Control-click again and click at the bottom, because we have to go in a clockwise direction to get it to face outward. If you want it to face inside, then you go in a counterclockwise direction. So we want this one to be 2, and this is clockwise, so we'll go like here. There, that's number 2. And these two are both 3. And they are in group 3 because they're internally connected pins. So we're going to control click at the bottom here, control click at the top, and do this, control click at the top, and control click at the bottom. The bottom 2 pins are not used. So we're going to shift click these, and we're going to right click on either of them, shape properties, make their group number 3, and their port number, well, it is various, so we can't change it, okay? But now we only need to do this, shape properties, and make this number 3 also. There. Okay, so now we're going to do control B, space, X is going to be -50, and tab, and Y is going to be 0. Okay, now we're going to make this, space, 200 by, this is not relative, we want it to be relatives. So 200 by 300. So 300 by 200. There. Now we have our coil form inductor. So we're going to go to layout, right click on CCL, new layout cell, and we'll name this one the DM ... This is a FET called the DM ... You are looking at it under a microscope, and these boxes are 5mm by 5mm. As you can see, there's 4 pads, but one of them is internally connected. The big one is the drain, one of the small ones is the gate, and the medium-sized one right here is the source, and this one over here is the gate. It's a set, and it has a really long name, so I'm not going to type out the whole thing. Create. Now, we're going to do, so the drain X is, now we're going to go to layout and click on copper and make the drain X, so control B. Now we're going to do space 0 tab 0. You can also use tab if you want, and make this, the drain X is going to be 22, and the drain Y is going to be 75. Okay, so now we're going to do control B again and do space and make this 30, 39, and make the Y 56. Okay, now we're going to do space and make this, the width is going to be, the X is going to be 13, and the Y is going to be 19. Okay, there. Now we're going to do the next one, so that's going to be, so we're going to do control B and do space and do 41 on the X direction and 38 on the Y. Okay, now we're going to make this space, and we're going to make this 9 on the X and 19 and 18 on the Y. There. Now we're going to do Control B, space, and this is going to be 39x and space, and the y is going to be 0 or -0. Now we're going to do space and make the x 13 and the y 19. There. Okay, so now we're going to make the footprint. So the footprint is going to so we're going to go to layout, click on the footprint, and we're going to do, so Control B, space, and x is going to be -6, and y is going to be -6. Okay. Oh, so now we're going to do Control B, space. Now x is going to be -6, and y is going to be +6. And we're going to make this space 62.992, and it's a square, so we're going to do 62.992 again. There. And now we have our FET. All we need to do now is add cell ports clockwise because we want it to face out. So 1 down here, Control click the other side, and 2 is going to be up here. So cell port 2. Control C, Control V, right click, and we'll put this at the edge of the other one, the other side. There. Now we're going to do cell port and make this 3. So we're going to Control click there and click there. Well, it thinks this is 4 because 3 because we copy pasted it, so we want this to be shape properties 3. Okay, so that's our FET. Now we have to make the 0805. This is the 0805. It is 80 mils long and 50 mils wide. The footprint is the dark stuff that you see, and the copper is the light stuff that you see. So we're going to go to Layout, right click on the ZCL, New Layout Cell, and we'll call this the 0805. That's the size of a component, capacitor, resistor. If you want an 0805 component, you just go here. So we're going to make the pad X. So now we're going to go to Layout and select copper and make the pad X. So Control B, space 0, tab 0, enter, and then space, and we're going to make this 50, tab 50. Okay, that's pretty big, but we're going to make this 10, and this is 10 mils, so it's actually not that big. Now I'm going to do layout, footprint, and do space, Control B, space. X is going to be 40, and Y is going to be 50, because that's 0805. That's what the 5 is. It's always going to be 50. Then space, EX is going to be 80, and and the y is going to be -50. There. Now we're going to do, so let's do a middle math here. Here to here, because we're going 15 in. So we're going to do 110. It's actually 10 in. So now we're going to go to layout, copper, okay. Now we're going to do Control B, space 110, and X is going to be, Y is going to be 0, and we're going to do space 50 by 50. There, and now we have our 0805 component. All we need to do now is add cell ports. So control click the top, control click the bottom, and control click the bottom, and control click the top. And we're going to do Control A, right click, rotate 180. Because 1 is supposed to be on the left side. And we'll put this at space. We'll do drag it and put it at 0. Okay, that's the 0805. Now we have to do the 10-pin, the 3-pin header. This is the 3-pin header, and we will be making a layout for it in Microwave Office. So this is the 3-pin header, and it will attach to our board as standoffs on our green board, the radio board. This is the 3-pin header standoff. After that, we will be putting this onto it, like this. That is the 3-pin header. So we're going to go to Layout, right-click on the ZCL, New Layout Cell, and we're going to do call it 3-pin header. There we go. Now we're going to do layout, copper, good. Now we're going to do Control B, space 0 tab 0, okay. Now we're going to make these 120 by 35, so space, X is going to be 35, and Y is going to be 120. There. This is the biggest one. So now let's do Control B, space, X is going to be 200, and Y is going to be 0. Okay. Now we're going to make this 35 by 120. And now we're going to do Control B, space 100, X and 35, and tab, and 35, Y. Okay, and space, this is actually going to be -120, so 35 and -120. There. Now we have to do, well, how far is this down? Here, here. dy is 85. The hotkey for this is Control D. And so 85, okay. So now we're going to do layout, footprint, Control B, space, negative, X is going to be -0. I just had the negative in there, so it doesn't really matter. And this is going to be a -85. And we're going to make this about 235 by 205. So dx is going to be 235, and y is going to be 205. There. And now all we need to do is add ports. So that these have ports in very weird positions. So space, x is going to be 0, and y is going to be 15. And control click there. Now we're going to do cell port again, space, this is going to be 200. This is actually going to be 100, and tab, and y is going to be 15. We can actually copy 15, Control C, because we're going to be using that a lot. 3 times anyway. So control click the other side, and we're going to do this, space 200, and y is going to be Control V, because we added in our copy buffer, and we're going to control click the other side. There, home, and that will be our 3-pin header. This is the 2-pin header. It will connect all of the gates in every 2-band. This is the 3-pin header. It will connect all the gates on the 3-band. Now this is the 2-pin and the 3-pin are different because in the video we use a 10-pin header, but on the one that we're really going to do, we use a 3 and a 2-pin header for the 2 bands and the 3 bands. Now we're going to make the 10-pin header. So layout, right click on the VCL and new layout cell. We're going to call this 10-pin header. There we go. My dad likes to call this in all capitals, the header. So now we're going to do draw circle and do space 0, tab 0, okay, and make this radius 37.5. Okay, home and zoom out. You don't have to do home before zooming out, but it zooms you out a little bit. It actually views full screen. So now we're going to copy paste this by using Control C, Control V. You can do this as many times as you want because we are going to delete afterward, the extras afterward. That seems like enough. Okay, now we're going to do Control A, draw, align, middle, and draw, align, space evenly across, center to center, spacing 100. Okay, now we're going to do home, and this is 10, so all the rest are going to get deleted. Yes, including that one. Okay, now home. Now we're going to do Control A, layout, and right click shape properties and make this 10 copper. We forgot to do that last time, so it was footprint. Now we're going to do Control B, space 0, tab 0, enter. Now we're going to do space 1000 by 100. There. Now we're going to click on this first, and then shift click this. See the color difference? That means this is the reference to that. If we do an align, so draw a line, middle, and we're going to click. And now we're going to do and make sure this is the same on both sides. 14.5 and, well, control. Okay, so now we're going to do so now we're going to shift click these all and to draw group. Now we're going to click on them, shift click this and draw a line center. There. And then we're going to click on these, draw, and ungroup. Now they're all individual. So, thank you for watching part 2 of the SSB 6.1 11 band extension. In this video, we made layouts Ls in the ZCL. So stay tuned for the next video, which will be making these in the 1 band, the 2 band, and the 3 band.